Hey guys, this is Courtney from Willow's Bloom. Willow's Bloom is a sanctuary for self-care for women entrepreneurs here on YouTube and on willowsbloom.com. In today's video, I'm going to go over with you guys how to work with your menstrual cycle. So this will be really helpful for entrepreneurs because we can set our own schedules. And why not set our schedules according to how our body actually feels in order to flow with nature instead of going against it? I want you guys to stick around to the end so that you guys can get a freebie of all the information that I'm talking about here today typed up on a cool little PDF. So make sure you stick around for that. So men are born with the incredible ability to basically live in homeostasis, meaning that they have a 24-hour hormonal cycle. So they're pretty steady people. They don't have to go through these crazy hormonal fluctuations over long periods of time. Women, however, are a little bit different. We have hormonal cycles that last for around 28 days or around a month. And that pretty much corresponds to the moon and the moon's different phases. So when we experience a hormonal fluctuation, it's happening for days at a time, sometimes even weeks at a time. So that's why we experience such different symptoms in our body and our moods. So I want to walk you through what these different stages or phases of our hormonal fluctuations or our menstrual cycle are, in order to help you guys really identify what you're going to be feeling at different weeks of the month. So the menstrual cycle actually begins with menstruation, which I'm sure you guys are very, very familiar with at this point. It lasts from about 5 to 7 days, which I'm sure you know, and during this time, your uterine lining is shedding, and that's why you're bleeding. So this is a time when you have obviously cramps, lethargy, you're just feeling kind of low on your energy, and that's because our hormones are actually at their lowest right now. This is a wonderful time to rest and reflect on what is going on within your business and with your life, because actually this is our most intuitive time, and our right and left hemispheres are going to be communicating even better than they normally do. So because of this, we're going to have that heightened intuition and be more in touch with how we actually feel and be able to determine what's going wrong in certain areas of our life. So basically, this is a period of time where we're kind of in reset mode before we begin the action. If we imagine that we're taking a hike, it's like that beginning when we're planning out the trail, deciding what food to bring with us and how we're gonna do it, how long it's gonna be, that kind of thing. So it's really an important time, even though it doesn't feel so good, but it's an important time because we have to reflect and we have to plan before we begin our next month ahead. Women in tribes used to take time out and isolate themselves during this time, leaving the group. And obviously we can't just leave our lives and say, peace, I'm gonna go do what I want because I'm on my period. But we can take some me time. We can take time in the evening and dedicate a little bit more love and attention to ourselves than usual. I think that this is a really great time to journal, because this is when you're going to start finding those things that are buried deep within you that you know are there and that will help you move forward into the future. It's also a really great time in business to review metrics, look over your finances, give reviews to all employees, and just kind of consult people and get feedback. Really look at how all your plans and strategies are playing out and if they're being successful or if you need to modify them for the future. It's also a pivotal time to set your intentions for the next month. So what do you want the next month or the next quarter to be like in your business? The next phase is the follicular phase, which lasts 7 to 10 days and occurs after menstruation and before ovulation. During this phase, your body releases something called the follicle stimulating hormone, or FSH. And what that does is it prepares your body to get to ovulation, basically. So you have a follicle, which is this fluid-filled sac in your ovary, and that holds the egg. So when you have FSH pumping through your body, that's going to engorge or enlarge the follicle until it's ready to release the egg. During this time, as the egg prepares to be released, you're also going to have an increase in estrogen. You're going to feel more active, maybe a little bit more restless as well. And our brains honestly love this stuff. So at this time, you're gonna have more mental dexterity, you're gonna be super creative, you're probably gonna be more outgoing and more easily connect with others. It's a really, really great time to start new projects, new things. So if you wanna have a new workout routine, or if you want to start something new at work, this is the time to do so. So in the previous phase, during menstruation, we were planning and plotting for the future and reflecting on how the past month went. But during the follicular phase, at this point, we're actually starting off that journey. If we're imagining hike, these are our first steps up the steep mountain, and it feels really good. This is when we have tons of energy and momentum. It's also a very social time, so it's a great time to schedule things on your calendar, meet up with people and friends, and maybe appear on people's podcasts or do YouTube videos. The next phase is ovulation, which is honestly my favorite. This is a point in time when you can actually get pregnant, and it only lasts for 1 day, 24 hours. And this is when the egg releases, and if you had sex within the 5 previous days or that day, then the sperm will meet the egg possibly and you'll get pregnant. So during this time is when the egg leaves the follicle and travels around to meet the sperm if there are any. If you don't have sex, or if there's no sperm there, then you won't get pregnant. And what happens is actually that follicle will develop into something called a corpus luteum, and that will eventually dissolve and disintegrate into your body. During ovulation, you are at your most attractive. You are at the peak of your estrogen. And actually, this is when other people will perceive you as being most attractive as well. They did some studies and they found that women who are waitresses and who are strippers actually got way more tips on their ovulation day. So record those videos, go out in public, take photographs for the next month of your business. This is the time to do that. You have the energy to do that as well. Because estrogen levels are so high, your mood is going to feel really stable, and you'll also be able to communicate with people much easier. So if you have a very important message, you might want to save it for ovulation day. Actually, right now, I believe that I'm ovulating because I track that with an app called Flow, F-L-O, and it's a pink app if you're interested. I'll put a link in the description. So basically, it will show you which day you're ovulating when you enable that setting. And I like to just record my videos on that day because I feel like I'm at my best. The last phase is the luteal phase, and it occurs after ovulation and before menstruation. This is one of the longest phases, spanning 10 to 14 days. So we're sort of riding out those hormones coming from a peak estrogen and dropping low, and then we're gonna actually have progesterone in our body as well. So during this time, our energy levels are going to slowly start to decrease as we move our way towards a stiller time, towards menstruation, towards that time of reflection. So if you can imagine ovulation being that peak of the hike, like we made it to the top and we had such a good view, and then menstruation is all the way down at the bottom when you reflect on how that hike went, the luteal phase is sort of that descent there. So it's sort of a mixture between the two. This is a really great time to be behind the scenes in your business. So you're not necessarily reflecting, but you're sort of tying up all the old tasks. This is the very last part of your journey of that month. So it's not the reflection time, but it's right before it. During this time, you might start to feel your energy turn inwards. And it's actually really beneficial to be spending more time alone, taking care of yourself and little daily minutia tasks, wrapping up old things that have kind of been lingering or any projects that are left over. It's also a really great time for cleaning and organizing and basically preparing for the next phase of relaxation, rest and reflection, and then action again. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end of the video. In the description box below, I'm going to have a link where you can join our freebies vault at Willow's Bloom, which is basically a vault with a ton of resources that are going to be associated with these videos and other content that will help you guys live more harmoniously with natural cycles and with your body and with astrology and all of those wonderful things. So if you want a beautiful PDF of all the content that we covered today, you will find it by clicking on that link below. And you guys can just print it out or take a look at that along with your calendar and sort of plan along with your menstrual cycle, looking at the Flow app and schedule yourself accordingly. This is what I do with my content and also with sort of like the things I'm doing with each day. Front stage, backstage, that sort of thing. Maybe I'll make another video on how I actually plan out my days. But I hope that this was helpful for now. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Thank you guys so much for staying tuned. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye!